Hello and welcome to the All Things Geek podcast. I'm your host Leighton, and today I'm joined by
Tyler
and
Aiden.
So we've got a few things to talk about. We're going to jump into our news section, and then we're going to review the final of Moon Knight and also rank the Disney Plus shows. So hopefully you know what rankings you want to put them in, and also we're going to do an agree to disagree list at the end. So what we'll do is the majority vote will put like a certain show in place. So for example, if me and Tyler agree on something but Aiden doesn't, that will go in that place, if that makes sense, and you know, vice versa. So I also need to mention Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is out tomorrow, and me and Aiden will be seeing it. So I'm not sure when Tyler's going to see it, but
unfortunately,
yeah, which is very unfortunate. But you have been spoiled, which is a real shame. If Aiden can get on, I might try and record a review, but if not, we could wait until next week or something like that, or whatnot. And if Tyler wants to come on, like I say, he's been spoiled, then you know, it's completely up to you. But jumping into the news, my apologies.
Could be a fun discussion.
Yeah.
If someone who hasn't seen it, you guys break it down for someone who hasn't seen it.
So that could be something we could do, and whatnot. And maybe we could do a listing then where we'd put it in like our MCU sort of thing. But yeah, and that's going to be spoiler. That's going to be a spoiler review and whatnot. So anyway, news. Sam Raimi has said that he is down to make Spider-Man 4 after jumping into the multiverse. His quote is, "I realised anything is possible," which is very exciting to hear, because I'm sure we all would love to see Sam Raimi do more, especially within this like superhero genre sort of stuff. He is like the GOAT. I think he listed some requirements where it was like if Toby was up for it, and like if the script was like perfect, and like if there was a villain worthy enough, then he's all for it and will push for it.
Yeah. It would be great to see, but with the current state of things with Sony, I don't see it happening.
Yeah. So, going from one Spider-Man director to another, John Watts is stepping down from directing the Fantastic Four due to him wanting to more or less take a break from like the cinematic universe landscape. Me and Aiden were a little bit gutted about this news, but I'm sure they will get someone in to do just as good of a job. But yeah, it's a real shame when directors drop out of things, especially when like you're excited to see their visions for it. My hope is that it's a good Fantastic Four, because they desperately need one, and I personally think if it doesn't land well, we're not going to get like another film for a very long time. So yeah, what do you think about that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, it is a shame, but I assume he'll probably be back since he's stepping away from Fantastic Four. I think his next movie will probably be Spider-Man 4, Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Well, his reason for stepping away from this movie is he wanted to take a break from comic book superhero films.
Yeah.
So it has not been talked about him doing he did his Spider-Man trilogy. I think that's it for John Watts. Like, I don't think he's doing anything.
Yeah.
Or was supposed to be sort of the next thing he would do with genre. So yeah, I was really looking forward to seeing his vision for Fantastic Four goes. And now that we're not getting it, I'm like, well, who else is going to take the spot? Like, who else can I think is worthy of playing Fantastic Four, which hasn't been done right twice?
Yeah.
Or I want to say 3 times, because there's a movie.
Yeah.
90s. So We'll have to see. There are many great directors that are capable of doing this job, and maybe there's someone that's like, oh my God, why didn't we think of that person to begin with? But it's a shame that John stepped away from the project, but I'm still looking forward to it nonetheless, but just have a little bit of concern recently. Look, if they had Sam Raimi do the movie, I would say perfect. It's in perfect hands.
Yeah.
But get Sam anything, he'll do a great job with it. But we shall see,
Yeah, it's a real shame, but it is what it is, and I'm sure whoever's going to come in next is going to do just as well as a job. It really comes down to the script, if anything. You could have a beautifully shot movie and it can look fantastic and the best cinematography, but if your script isn't there, it really doesn't matter. Yeah. Moving on to other MCU stuff. Apologies.
I was just going to say, I think Kevin Feige is going to want to put as much effort into the Fantastic Four.
I mean, he's whenever he talks about he's very passionate about most of the if not all Marvel characters, but certain ones you definitely can tell he's very passionate about.
I'm pretty sure he worked on the early 2000s.
Yeah, he did.
Fantastic Four 1 and 2, so I think he knows what not to do.
Yeah, he's produced a lot of older Marvel movies and whatnot, so it's kind of mad to see where his position is now and the success he's had, whilst the earlier 2000s movies weren't exactly the best.
Yeah, a lot of time working on those movies to learn what not to do.
Yeah. So Ant-Man 3 and the Marvels has switched its dates. Ant-Man 3 will now be coming out February 17th, 2023, whilst the Marvels has been pushed back to July 28th of the same year. I don't know why they've done this, but I'm completely fine with it. Ant-Man 3 was definitely the one that I was looking forward to the most out of them two, anyway.
Oh, yeah. Sooner we can get Ant-Man, the better.
I don't know why they've done that, like I said, but that appears to be the case. So, there's no word on if Black Panther 2 is getting delayed or anything. I know it's still meant to be coming out this year, but with that film's so radio silent, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, before we move on to some Hasbro reveals and other things, we got a new trailer for Obi-Wan today. Happy May the 4th, everyone.
Happy May the 4th.
It is Star Wars Day. And we are getting Star Wars Celebration on the 26th, I think it is. So they might reveal some more stuff there. Maybe some stuff with Mando Season 3 or whatever. But yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts on what you thought of the trailer. Personally, I think I'm still incredibly excited for this show. I'm more than confident we saw Fall On for a shot. Which is super excited. You know fine well you're such a nerd when you get excited about a character that had 5 seconds of screen time and did nothing but stand there. And then we get a tease of Vader, which I'm curious to know how they're going to do that. It seems like they're going to build the armor around him more, or he could be adding upgrades to his suit throughout the season and stuff, and that stuff looks really good. Seeing the robotics and the chest panels coming together and everything like that. I love all that stuff.
I think that might just be a reassembly after he's been soaking in a bacta tank or something.
Yeah. Which isn't at all unsurprising. That seems to be a very common thing for Vader to do. Once he's had a cheeky little bath, he puts his clothes on and
something him and Boba Fett can bond over.
One thing I did notice in the trailer is that Ewan McGregor is actually taking on more of a Alec Guinness sort of voice in the show. When he's talking to Uncle Ben, he sounds like the transition between a younger Obi-Wan to an older one.
Interesting.
And Yeah, it makes sense. And there was a very good line delivered by Uncle Owen in that trailer, or the actor playing Uncle Owen, where he kind of rips on Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan failed Anakin. But yeah, that was a very good line. And the line, the third sister, I think that's the number she is, where she says on about you can't escape him, on about Vader. I love that. That just cements the fact that, like, even those around Vader are incredibly intimidated by him. It just sells the intimidation factor of the character, and I love that. So I'll stop rambling. I'll let you two discuss it and talk about, like, you know. I know we saw some more of the Grand Inquisitor. So
I think the first shot showed of him looked pretty good. I didn't hate it. Like, it kind of looked better, get closed up on his giant head. So I was kind of like, okay, just stay from that distance. But
yeah,
I think it worked better in motion.
Keep away from me.
Yeah, I think it worked a lot better in motion.
It does. Honestly, Forvalon was the highlight of the trailer. But he was. I was really surprised to see him, and I'm happy to be there. But the whole tone of the show, it's so. It's such a contained story in terms of, like, Obi-Wan, and then kind of. I'm just so curious of how the conflict is going to last with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going to fight again, but what are the circumstances? What it's going to be under? Because allegedly they don't meet and see each other again until A New Hope. New Hope and the Sith.
There was leaked footage of Vader and Obi-Wan fighting on Tatooine, which looked great. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know the context behind everything like that, but
it looks amazing. I like how Obi-Wan's kind of going to different locations. They're having bounty sent down on him, which I think is really cool.
We also see a redesign of the Purge troopers as well. The next to the Inquisitor, the third sister, like they're taking on a more stormtrooper like armor look rather than the look they had in.
Which I'm very happy about.
They do look really good.
We never get to see shadow troopers in anything, so if these guys can basically be shadow troopers, I'm down for it.
Yeah. They do look quite. They definitely look like the next evolution of, like, that Purge trooper design that Jedi Fallen Order had, where it was like I'm trying to think. I can't remember the exact clone patrol that had that helmet design.
I'd love to see. We don't have a real solid look at it yet, but I'd love to see some, like, Death Trooper elements mixed in there too.
I was trying to see, like, what the helmets and that look like, but they're definitely, like, it looks like a modified Stormtrooper helmet. It looks a bit like I'm trying to think of the squadron from Battlefront 2. You know, the can't remember the name of them.
Inferno Squad.
Yeah. It looks like you take some inspiration from that, as well as just, like, the standard trooper helmets. So,
well, their helmets are just TIE pilot helmets.
Yeah. So, we'll have to see, obviously, in action and whatnot. But yeah, looks great. Coming out on the 27th, is it?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel the hype. This trailer was a lot better for me because it shows a lot less of the Inquisitors.
I don't think he's going to be in it that much, in all honesty.
I hope not.
I think he's
in, like, 2 scenes.
I think he's going to be in the first episode and maybe a later
like
one.
The 4th or 5th or something, yeah.
4th.
I gotta say, watching this trailer, and it was, like, slightly, like, shorter by 20 seconds than the first one, even though that was a teaser trailer. It's so surreal to see Ewan back as Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
It just revitalizes something, a part of Star Wars that I just never thought we would see. You know, like...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, it's mad for me personally because, I mean, you both know how much I do love the prequels and how much that character means to me, especially Ewan's portrayal of him. I'm sure you feel the same in certain regards to his casting of Obi-Wan, but to me,
yeah, he was my favorite Jedi before Kanan came around. So yeah, he's
and I
he's
mean,
number
like,
2.
Ewan is the definitive Obi-Wan for me. I love Alec and the voice actor that plays him in Clone Wars, but Ewan is my Obi-Wan.
I mean, the Clone Wars portrayal is emulating his.
But it's not. It's not the man himself.
Yeah.
So it genuinely just blows my mind that we're here. That we are. We're like a week or 2 or something away from seeing this show. This is genuinely one of the top things I've always wanted to see from Star Wars, just more of him. And Ewan McGregor's came out and said that he's open to do more if there is other opportunities for his character. I don't know if that would be like obviously stuff before the show, since this is a limited thing, and whatnot. Listen, if there's more of him, I'll have it any day. I wouldn't complain. It's just mad. It really is. It's just so close.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they would do if he did more. Maybe a season 2 or something. But 4-LOM's appearance does give me hope that maybe, since there's also a line where she's like, hire every bounty.
Where we're going to see a lot of the Empire.
I hope that we get the Empire, like the full Empire crew, including like Boba in his prime and everything.
No way.
Well, I was thinking that because I was like, well, if 4-LOM's there, surely Zuckuss will be there too. Those two are like, those two are like a partnership anyway, like even in Empire and stuff. So, I would love to see the little midget running after 4-LOM. I would love to see Bosk. I'm sure we'd love to see him.
I hope we could get. It's been so long since Mandalorian season 1 with IG-11, so I hope we could see IG-88 pull some of those kind of moves. Yeah.
The speculation is going to be mad for who we're going to see, but I'm glad that that line is there. And we do see 4-LOM because it is kind of like, well, if we're going to see this really obscure character, you know.
Yeah, and in typical Disney Plus show fashion, most of the shots that we've seen are probably from like the episode 1, episode 2.
Yeah, so. Which is exciting. At least we're getting them on the same day. So that's very exciting. But moving on, we're going to talk about some Hasbro reveals. Like I say, it is May the 4th, so we've got some Star Wars stuff to talk about. But firstly, Hasbro has kind of made this subline to Hasbro Legends, which is called the Legacy Collection.
It's a bit like the Black Series Archive.
Yeah, the Archive collection. Yeah.
I really haven't done before, which I think is interesting. And it actually celebrates Marvel Studios' legacy.
Yeah.
So,
so the first wave was just like, which I thought was a bit of a weird starting point, personally. Black Panther, alright, I guess.
I think it's probably because they really don't have, like, since the Black Panther movie has been such like a clusterfuck, they probably really don't have much to work with for figures.
Yeah, and I mean, they can't exactly put stuff out, but like, it would have been nice if it was like, oh, well, what we're going to do is like start from the beginning, so like an entire wave is just around like Iron Man 1. That would have got, but if it's a subline, I understand why they wouldn't just give us like all new like sculpts and stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, the subline they did say is specifically for like
re-releases and
re-releasing old figures, but with some minor updates.
So get ready to see Shuri on the pegs a lot more.
Again.
Yeah.
Again.
At least she's got the proper colors this time, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, so that's a subline they're doing. But then we also got some new Star Wars Black Series reveals. So let's have a look at them. Firstly, we get Leia in her Endor outfit, which, I mean, it's Leia. She's in a dress.
No lie, you've been waiting for this one.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure we're all waiting for Slave Leia.
Oh no!
Touchy subject for Disney. I'd be surprised if they ever made that figure actually again.
Well,
I mean they did it with the like blue line back in the day, but they haven't obviously touched it since.
Yeah.
So we get Leia in her Endor outfit from episode 6. It looks like a fairly alright figure. Tyler pointed out before we started recording that she looks really pissed off.
Yeah.
Which
she comes with apparently a spear for some reason.
She never uses that. She never has a gun, which I guess she
got
needed
two
something.
Very itchy trigger fingers.
Yeah, she has. But we also got reveals of the Cantina band, the members that you'd need for them. I'm not going to try and pronounce these names whatsoever. But
Nolan, Shield, the modal nodes.
Yeah, the modal nodes. That's the band.
Figrin Da'an.
So the first one is a deluxe pack where you get one of the band members, but he comes with 2 sets of drums, which is there's one that's in the actual movie, and then there's I can't remember what they said, if there's like one from something else, but he comes with interchangeable hands, which is quite surprising. We don't really get that very often with Black Series figures.
They don't have pegs either. That's interesting. It's like,
that's kind of like what NECA does with their hands, where it's just like a ball peg. Interesting.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that works.
I think that's what it is, a ball peg,
Could be.
No, I mean, NECA pretty much falls like Marvel Legends does it with swapping hands.
I don't know, because I mean the Predator stuff is like a ball joint. Yeah, all the Predator stuff is like ball joints. But the first one here is the drummer, so you get 2 sets of drums. One drum set you can actually sit the character down, which is quite neat, and the other one is more of the iconic drum set from episode 4, even though it's in the background, where you get the 2 little drumsticks, which is quite nice. And then the frontman himself of the band, he comes with 3 extra flutes. So if you get 3 of these,
the drummer one also comes with the bagpipe.
Yeah. So if you get 3 of the standard releases and then the deluxe, you can in fact make the full band, which is very exciting. It's such a weird niche release. I don't think this is like a thing that... This is very collector aimed. It's not like...
but I guarantee this thing will be selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, it will. I definitely would love to collect the full band just for the sake of it. It's not like... they're not like characters that I'm desperate to get, but they're just the novelty of having a space jazz band in 6-inch form. I really want that. But they look... Just
the 4 of them, and then get Max Rebo to feature in their band, and there you go.
Oh my god!
They look great. I think I don't think there's anything different between the two, which is... I mean, it's fair enough, they're the same species and stuff, but it's mainly the instruments and whatnot, and I think that's because they're so similar.
Well, you don't get any of the extra hands with the single release as well.
Yeah, true. I think because they're so similar in design and look, the instruments more than make up for the lack of differences between the two. So, yeah, we also get a release of the 187th Battalion, which is Mace Windu's clone battalion from season 1 and season 7 of Clone Wars. Tyler was saying again before we started recording that you would think that his battalion would be purple, but no, they're a burgundy sort of red.
It's a shame, but he looks cool.
They're not seen that often. It's not a very popular battalion.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a nice addition to anyone's clone collection.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. And he is using the entirely new clone body and not any weird mixed parts. So that's cool.
And then finally we get the Republic I want to say, I can't remember the name. I think it's Republic Guard droid or something like that from The Mandalorian.
Something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact name. New Republic security droid, which looks ridiculously good. I'm all for having more droids, and it looks like we thought it would. And I mean, I will admit, I thought it was just reusing parts from K2SO, but the team who work on the figures were basically saying how the K2 units are much taller than these droids, so they had to completely redesign and do a full new mold. Which, listen, for how much you're paying for these things, I'm happy with that. All new sculpt,
it's not
can't complain. And he does come with the transparent pins in the knees and elbows, so exactly like K2SO, which is quite nice. So, two other reveals we got was the Force FX Obi-Wan lightsaber. This thing, now, I'm sure you both know, but I own the original 2005 one. And it's not accurate, especially with the neck of the saber. Obviously, the accurate one is much thinner. The one that I have back in its day was much thinner. But this just looks amazing. I need this in my collection. I definitely think this is going to be a Christmas present I'm going to be after. It looks so good. The weathering, just the paint apps on the gold, just the old worn look to the saber. Yeah, I need this in my life. I really do. It's probably going to sell out by then, but I'm going to try and get it. That looks gorgeous. And I mean, it comes with all the new updated lights, sounds, and all that stuff. And I think they were talking about that it's got some extra new features. I don't know what they are. But the new Force FX sabers are really great. I mean, you can take the blades out. I think you can take the Kyber crystal out as well. And whatnot. And disassemble it and stuff, and obviously it's all it's not metal, it's what is it, die-cast?
Die-cast?
Yeah, die-cast. Well, it is die-cast and metal, so they are very heavy sabers and stuff. But yeah, it looks so good. But we also have a updated Vader helmet from Obi-Wan. I quickly want to mention, this is our first look at the colour we're getting for the Obi-Wan show on the box, which is a teal, I think, blue. It's a very, it's a bluey.
Yeah, or like a baby blue sort of color.
It's a really nice blue. And yeah, basically the update for this new Darth Vader helmet is the new lenses. It's got a repainted entire helmet, especially with the face and neck. The neck's redesigned, so it's longer. The face has got a gunmetal look, which is accurate, and then the actual dome overhead piece is a glossy black, which again is accurate. And then all the details and stuff inside, it's all the same, apart from the lenses are red, and that does come with lights and sounds and stuff. Very exciting stuff.
Looks great.
I know someone who's got this helmet, not this version obviously, but the other one, and it's apparently a pain in the arse to get on and off. Once you're in it, you're in it. So imagine cosplaying as that thing, and it's really strapped on.
You really want to take it off for a moment, but
it's all magnetic. That's how everything goes together and stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously you have to have your son come and cut your hand off and then take it off for you.
Yeah.
I was looking at it today when the Hasbro people that were doing the stream, and I was thinking, do I buy it and then try and do a fucking Vader cosplay for Halloween or some shit? And I was yeah, but I don't know about that. Like, I like Vader and stuff, but I don't think I could go on my way to do that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's it for our news. So we're gonna move on from Star Wars and talk about Moon Knight, since the final air today. For an episode that was 43 minutes, there was shit to...
If you're not including the credits, it's about 35 minutes.
There was so much in this episode.
Yeah.
So we're going to do, our thing where we'll talk about it, make our way around, and then give our final thoughts, rate it, and then we'll go into our rankings of the shows. So feel free to jump in and, whatever. But this episode was great. I don't know if it was my favourite. I still think episode 5 is still my favourite. But this was a very, very good ending to the show, and listen,
best ending to a Disney Plus Marvel series by far.
It's stuck the landing incredibly well.
I was very nervous about the ending because all these shows they kind of slip and fall. And I think a part too is a lot of times with how they handle the villains. And, and we'll talk about that more. But that I thought about, and I was blown away from beginning to end.
It was so like everything about it, like just they didn't. And I mean, I've said this previously. They don't waste any moments to fill it with shit or whatever. Like a lot, like some of the other Disney Plus shows have done. This just, like I say, for like 35 minutes or so, it just, you feel like you're getting so much.
Yeah, oh man. Even just like 10 minutes into the episode or however long, when Mark goes and has that speech in front of Steven, who's turned to dust.
Yeah.
Fucking ripped my heart out. I was crying for like 5 minutes straight.
It's mate, I don't even know where to start on this because there's so much like.
I don't know, man.
Listen,
it's hard.
let's just try and do our best, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start. I guess the beginning, but
let's try to start the beginning, and I think we'll go from there. So
yeah.
This episode kind of starts off with us seeing a little bit of everything that happened outside of what Mark was experiencing in episode 5 with Arthur, and how Maya was kind of... I don't know how Maya the frick was able to really sneak out of there with those guys and right along with Trucks and them afterwards. But
Layla.
Yeah, not Lila. Layla. I'm thinking of a different... Yeah, but I was like, okay, they didn't see her at all, so...
I think that might have been down to the fact that they were like far too focused on the fact that like they got the stuff and like
they got what they need.
Yeah.
They're working their way through. So
she follows. She ends up like smuggling herself on the caravan as they go to the headquarters of the Avatars, I guess, like
the pyramid
room.
The chamber.
The chambers in the
pyramid. It is. That one.
Giza.
Yeah, it's Giza.
And then Harrow releases his crocodile waifu, and she tries to like seduce him. And then
he's really loving
that. Yeah, he nope, that was something.
Then
Layla.
Well, we see his power with the staff, where he's like taking people's like souls and judging them, and then like there's one police guy who like doesn't get killed because he's like pure and stuff.
The staff also does a weird transformation where it becomes like an axe head on one side, and I'm not sure what the point of that was because he doesn't really use it.
Yeah.
No, because outside of him having the scales for like the staff board to determine if a person is, free of sin or not, or sort of. That was just kind of like, I'm just gonna like chop you guys around wherever I see.
I guess maybe it's supposed to like represent an executioner's axe or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. And now that they have I don't know. That was weird because that was before they freed Amit. So,
we get before that we get is it Tuwit? Is that the goddess name?
Telret.
Telret, yeah. She speaks through the dead to Layla and stuff before that. But we get them going to the pyramid of Giza and stuff. And I will say, like, there is a really weird editing choice where we see the other avatars come forward and like they're gonna attack, and then we just see like Arthur use the staff, and that's like it. Like we don't.
Yeah, they don't show the fight at all.
Which, I mean, I guess the limitations and stuff, but that was the one thing I was like,
Yeah, feels like we could have definitely seen that and added like 3 minutes to the runtime. But yeah, so Layla, Telret tells Layla that she needs to free Khonshu to bring Mark.
Yeah.
She finds Khonshu and frees him, and then he also tries to seduce Layla.
Crafty
God's
bastard
just trying
he
to
is.
seduce everyone, yeah.
He's like,
And then he goes and confronts Amit.
yeah, which
she's trying to leave.
Which was, I will say, it was just, I like just the novelty of seeing like the two gods talking to each other, and then like the fight breaks out. I loved all that. That was really good to see. Khonshu,
and
Khonshu kicking his ass.
It feels like it has more of a mythological weight to it than any like scene of
total,
like Thor talking to Loki or anything like that. I haven't felt that kind of like godly weight since Odin in the first Thor movie was dealing out punishments and shit. But they get into a scrap.
And then Layla becomes an avatar.
It's a temporary avatar for Tuaret, and she has this amazing costume. Great. It's cool. I was like, dude, that's better than like what Sam Wilson has as Captain America's.
It would definitely be interesting to see those two go head to head or like fly with each other.
Yeah,
dude, she would wipe the floor with them. I'm just saying that right.
And then we get that really touching. I think we do anyway. We get that touching scene where Mark basically like says that he needs Stephen and stuff, and then like the doors more or less to the afterlife open up, and then
true love's kiss resurrects Stephen.
Well, I kind of love that Mark was like, Tuar was like, "You're free, Mark. Yeah, you can do it." It's like, well,
it's all peaceful now.
Right. That doesn't feel right to me. So I'm going back for him, and that was such a beautiful moment. He willingly wanted to risk his own eternal afterlife happiness, so to speak, and that happened. So
it was, that whole scene was brutal.
It was
just
very touching.
So and then Mark is revived by Khonshu. The armor comes on, and then we get like a scene of them talking outside, and then like he switches.
I love that they just switch back and forth now, and the costume just changes like that.
It was so satisfying because you've seen them trying to understand or get along with each other for the past 5 episodes, and now you finally get to see them work together. And seeing Mr. Knight in action like that, I was like, oh my god!
It was. So
I really loved like even just like, because I know we don't really get this a lot with MCU costumes and stuff, but like seeing the actual costume. I mean, with certain ones I should say, but like just seeing the actual Moon Knight costume in the daylight being a physical thing, just with the wind, and it just looks so good. And then like you say, like changing to Mr. Knight, and Khonshu was like, oh fucking hell, really? Like, but like Stephen's like, yeah, let's have this agreement. Like, what's our deal? Like after this, we're done. And then we see Mark take over the body, and I don't know if he flies or if it's like Khonshu like sending him up. Do you know what I mean?
He flies now.
Yeah, I think as Khonshu says, like, he's still the god of the night sky, so I think he's just propelling.
He's getting fired up. And he's
that was like and then it's followed by like a Tim Burton Batman scene where the cape goes like in the shape of the moon. That was like, that was great.
Love that so much.
Very cheesy, but very good. I will say.
Yeah.
Then
it's super comic booky. So
it is, and we get a lot of that throughout this show. Like in episode 3 when he jumps down, the cape like makes the moon. Like that's so good. So after this, it's the top of the pyramid stuff where Arthur,
Harrow,
he
shoots his sky beam, and then all his servants start sucking all the souls of the people in Cairo.
Yeah. Well, firstly, though, I want to ask her, what did you think of Ahmed? I know she wasn't in it that much, but...
No, I thought she was fantastic. It's one of those things where you build up a villain throughout a series or a show, and then don't pull it off fully at the end because the villain only shows second. No, Ahmed's presence was, I think, very... It solidified what it was building up to as a character, and interaction with Khonshu, and just every mode that she was in. I absolutely loved the character, and I think she was a great villain outside of...
she's very cool. I like her. There's something that I enjoy about her appearance, though. She obviously is not at all this scheming mastermind type of character. Because when she's freed, she's got no clue what the hell is going on.
Yeah, she's
like, "Who are you? Why are you here?
Yeah,
what's going on?"
Which I quite like. It's kind of like a misunderstood god kind of deal. Like her and Khonshu, like they do the same kind of thing. She just has a different way of doing it, which depending on how you look at it, like very Nick Fury in The Winter Soldier, like the exact same sort of thing. Yeah, it's kind of like depending on how you look at like their perspectives, you might have a different opinion on. Like she will, like, you know, obviously kill someone from the roots upwards, whilst Khonshu does it after the fact that they've committed a crime. So she's not the biggest of bads. She, like, what she does is wrong, but to a point you can kind of justify it. Obviously, without killing kids.
We get the line where, like, no, I draw the line at child murder. She's there. There's a good line where she's trying to convince Khonshu that, like, they want the same thing, but
Khonshu's having none of it.
He says something like, "It's my choice," which you would rather take away, or something like that. Which is hypocritical by the end, but we'll get there.
Well, I mean, we all know Khonshu's a devilish bastard anyway, but you know, can't put it past the guy.
They have a giant, like,
which we see them. I think that's their like full scale, which was an amazing spectacle to see. Just these two gods going at each other.
Seriously, like a Pacific Rim, like kaiju fight.
Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
There's that one shot where Harrow is like walking, like it's an upward angled shot, and Harrow's like walking towards Mark,
behind
and them fighting behind him. Yeah, it's super cool.
And then like Khonshu gets stabbed by his own staff in that scene. That was great. But then Mark comes in, he more or less glides off, flies in, and then him and Arthur have a scuffle, and
duke it out.
We get a great action sequence as Mr. Knight. It's just
switching between the two, and I love that there's a point in the fight where Arthur has Moon Knight by like the collar. He's like holding on to his cape or something like that, and he switches into Mr. Knight so that collar evaporates. He gets out of the grapple. I love that.
It's so
clever.
and like just seeing like Mr. Knight tear through people and stuff. I mean, Layla's there as well, and she's doing a great job. But and then like just the small little thing of Steven fixing his suit mid-fight. That's like such a good little thing that he does.
Yeah. It's been so nice to see Steven come into his own.
You see, he's like a coward kind of at the start, and now you see him, he's like, yeah, if Mark can do it, so can I, and I love that like character development he goes through. So that fight was great. It was definitely worth the wait of seeing it. And a lot of it was like a one shot, especially the Mr. Knight stuff. That was all like, it seemed like one take of him just going through people.
Dope. Layla also joins in, and they get to see her dope new costume.
Yeah. Which is a pretty good costume. I really, really like it. It would be nice to get her as a Marvel Legend figure.
I hope so.
In that costume, that would be really nice. And they're pretty cool, those blade weapons she gets.
She's
cool.
Basically a scarab, if you think about it.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Actually, I think they confirmed that she is a character in Marvel Comics.
Yes, she is. Yes.
Called the Crimson Scarab or something like that.
Yeah. That's basically it. That's why like Layla's a mix of like a love interest in
Scarlet Scarab
comics named Darlene, and they just kind of made her and then
Darlene
a lot better. Oh man, it's she doesn't know their character.
So then, like, after like as the staff on Mark, and like he sees that Layla's getting attacked, but then like before that, actually, sorry, something happens to the staff. I think they either damage it and it starts like firing off energy and stuff, and Mark's like, you know, trying to block it.
Layla,
that looks so good. Like him just like fucking just like trying to deflect it. That was like
Layla swoops in, saves a kid from a van that's about to fall on her, and she's like, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" She's like, "Yeah,"
which is nice.
Cool.
You know, it's very nice. That you know the especially the Egyptians fans and stuff now have an Egyptian character that they can look towards and stuff. Hopefully, there's more in the future and whatnot. But it's always nice to get some sort of representation. Mark gets pinned down and then he blanks out. We don't see Jake in action, but we do see him in the episode, which is very such a worthwhile payoff. But we will talk about that.
We'll get there. But everyone is devastated. Harrow is fucked up. Layla
which is
looks
like
terrified.
Yeah, which is so good. Like I wasn't expecting him to blank out, but I was like, when it happened, I was like, oh shit! Like that's so good. And then they take him back to the pyramid, and Khonshu is like, oh no, they have to do that ritual so that Ahmed would.
She's like about to kill Khonshu or something like that, and then they have to perform the ritual to trap her in
a mortal form. And then Khonshu's like proper egging him on, like, kill him, go and do him, you know, go and do it. Like, and Mark's like,
that whole scene, I really thought I thought Khonshu was about to be like, fine, if you won't do it, I'll have him do it, and then he'd black out, and Harrow would be dead already.
Oh, that would be fucking so good.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
But I like the fact that Mark's like, like, listen, I've done all this, and you know, if you want him dead, you do it yourself. Which I really like. It seems like Mark's learning that Khonshu is manipulative. And stuff. And then
he takes away their super suit, and then they wake up in a sort of a mirrored scene to episode 1 where they're in the bed with the ankle strap.
We get the asylum again. Now, when that happened, I thought, holy shit.
Oh, that's right.
As soon as that happened, I thought, holy shit, have they, like, done the comic run, you know, where, like, he's in the in the asylum, and it's all, like, in his head? I thought, like, shit, have they just done that? Like, that'd be pretty wild for them to do. But obviously that wasn't the case. And then he wakes up in the bed, and I'm like, thinking about it, like, shit, was all that like a dream or what? Like, it's so it really gets you thinking and stuff. But obviously, that wasn't the case.
A dream within a dream.
Yeah,
but I love.
No, but it's cool because it's
full circle.
It foreshadows the end, you know. So I think it's really, and it's full circle,
and they use the same music choice, which was really good.
A Man Without Love by Engelberg. Yeah, I love that song, dude.
There's also it's a cute little detail that there's 2 goldfish in the tank now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then you can see all the things are inside the tank, like the boat, which is from Two Arts, and the pyramid. I mean, it's so cool.
And then we get an after-credit scene, which
it starts out seeming like Harrow is trapped
in that asylum. That's what I thought. Yeah,
asylum.
Yeah.
But no, he's trapped in a real asylum.
Yeah, and then
some mysterious figure dressed in black escorts him out to a nice limousine.
I noticed the hat in like the distance.
No. I'll tell you, as soon as he put his hands on the back.
Oh yeah. No, I was like, I know who that is.
Yeah.
And it was Jake.
Which is really, I really like the scene where he puts him into the limo and then just kicks the fucking wheelchair.
Yeah,
I love that. That's such a all right, you didn't need to do that, but whatever. It's just
throws him in, kicks the wheelchair away.
We get Khonshu in the suit, which
Khonshu's looking snazzy. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Which is such a comic look for him, which I love.
That's right from the comic books. It's also from the similar storyline of him in the asylum. So that was just like, oh my god!
It looks so cool. Super good to see him in that suit. Like, he looks so good in it.
He's got such a swagger about him in that scene. It's like his legs are crossed, his hands are on his lap. He's just like, hey,
proper daddy pimp.
Yeah.
And then we get the introduction. That says, meet my friend. And we were like, what? There he is. And he does speak Latino. I did think it was Egyptian, but
Spanish.
It was Latino.
He was Spanish, yeah.
And
he
kills
Arthur just there, and then it's like,
it's
without any hesitation.
It's very cheesy the way he kills him because you get that spy movie.
Yeah, I mean it is a suppressed pistol.
It doesn't actually exist, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
It depends on the weapon and also the suppressor. To be fair,
yeah,
I don't know what model of gun it was, but there's certain suppressors that you can use, and it will make that sort of, very.
I think. Yeah. So I have some thoughts about this. I think him speaking Spanish is initially just to make it very clear that he is not
Mark or
Steve.
Yeah. More so Mark, if anything.
Yeah, I think he'll probably have a Spanish accent if we get a season 2.
Which hasn't been confirmed yet.
Not yet, but I assume by the end of the week we'll have confirmation.
Hopefully.
And then I think he's dressed in all black, so I have a theory.
Yeah, you mentioned this to me earlier.
Yeah, I have a theory as to what his costume might look like.
Modern costume.
That, or I think they might adapt a different character into his costume. Aiden, do you know Hunter's Moon?
Oh.
Yeah,
because you were saying that he wears all black and it's like a...
and he's got the full moon logo instead of the crescent moon.
Oh, farts.
I think that's what they might do.
That's sick.
Which would be a very different, distinctive look from the other two.
Yeah, Hunter's Moon in the comics is the second fist of Khonshu. Because Khonshu obviously has 2 hands. So I think Jake may be his second fist, probably a personality that Khonshu implanted or set up for, so that he could always have
a backup plan,
control over Mark.
If Mark steps doesn't do something, you can always just Jake's always there. You mentioned when we were having a conversation when we watched the episode that There's a scene in episode 1 where Stephen blanks out, and
he's in like the Belgian town where Harrow kills
and there's
the old
blood
woman.
all over, and you said it's Jake, and it makes
blanks
sense.
out, and there's bodies all around him, and his hand is just drenched in blood. I think that was Jake.
Yeah, I think it was as well. At the time, I thought it was Mark, but yeah, I 100% think that was Jake. And then like we were saying how more so you like on the cupcake, like van and stuff, that was Mark and whatnot. But like that scene where Stephen has the scarab and he blanks out and there's blood in his hand and the scarab is covered in blood, that was Jake.
Yeah. I think that was definitely Jake.
Like, just thinking back to certain things, you really start to piece everything together, which I really, really love. So let's go for a final rating, and then we can rank the shows and, agree to disagree, I guess, on certain ones, and, talk about any new buys and shit we've had. So, final rating. Tyler, what would you give the final?
Had we not gotten the post-credit scene, it would have been a 9 out of 10. Since we got the post-credit scene, 10 out of 10.
Whoa!
Hayden?
What do you think?
Oh.
What do you think I'm going to say?
11 out of 10?
I was going to say 4. Solid 4.
That's a little too low. All right, 11 is a little too low. No, I give it a 10 out of 10, easily. Yeah. I'm so glad this finale stuck the landing. I wasn't so concerned, but it's like, how Disney Plus shows can really have a solid...
be very iffy with the finals, They're either great, or they're... run-of-the-mills.
They pooped the bed, so... But this one didn't. This one, stayed... actually did its job.
Yeah. I would give it a 10 as well. It definitely wasn't... thinking about it, I think it is my second favourite episode of the season. I mean, it must be episode 5 and 6 have got 10s from me. But minus the weird editing choice not to show the avatars versus Arthur in that scene, and it's just shot really weirdly. The rest of the episode is superb, and I mean the end credit scene, and then I just want season 2 now. But obviously,
seriously,
we're gonna have to wait a good year or so before we even get that. But we'll have to see. But we haven't give anything under an 8 for this show.
I don't think so. No,
the lowest I think any of us have went was an 8.5, and I think that was you with episode 4.
Yeah, because I didn't like the fact. I didn't like the subplot of Stephen mooching on Layla.
Yeah,
I was jealous.
So let's rank the shows.
Okay. So I have my list.
Yeah, I've got mine. Ian, have you got yours?
In my head.
So we'll go one by one, and then, like I say, we'll make our own list. And how we'll do it is, like I said at the start, if 2 of us agree on something where it should be, then that's going to be the case. But we can try and talk out of it or whatever, or we'll just have to swallow that bitter pill. But I'm sure our number ones are all Moon Knight. I could be wrong. Aiden, do you want to go first, and then Tyler, and I'll do mine last, and then
sure.
Let's all go number by number.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So,
let's start.
I have included What If in this, by the way.
Yeah, so did I.
Okay.
I have.
So there's 6 shows in total. So what is our number 1?
All right, easily.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Moon Knight, guys. Come on, easily.
I think, and for me, that being number 1, that set a very high bar between that and number 2. So number 2, I'm sure this is where everything's going to start going very divisive and whatnot. So number 2, Tyler, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay. Okay, Aiden.
Loki.
Yeah, hands down Loki for me as well. Number 3.
My number 3 is WandaVision.
Yeah, mine's WandaVision as well.
I would say WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
Also.
Okay. In agreement there.
Number 4 in.
Let me think. I have it in my head. I would probably say What If. Yeah. I love the multiverse. I like some of the that show, but number 4 would be What If.
Tyler, what about you?
My number 4 is Loki because I goddamn hate Sylvie. I hate her guts. She's the worst.
It's you.
Well, do you know what?
Well, she probably would, and I would not give.
Well, do you know who else is the worst? Because this is my number 4. I'm going to counter this. The Falcon and Winter Soldier is my number 4.
Well, it's obviously not the worst because there's 2 more to go.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, never mind.
Number 5. Let's everyone go for number 5.
Hawkeye.
Mine is What If.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Aiden.
Oh, sorry. I thought you got like you. All right. No. So.
No. What's your?
So my number 5 is going to be Hawkeye. I just want to mention real quick about What If. That show is obviously very different from the other Disney Plus shows we've gotten. Animated show, but the part of it anthology. And I know that a lot of the show didn't land 100%, but they were
same for me.
Really.
But when it was good, it was good.
It was good. It was very good, and that stuck out to me quite a bit more than some episodes of, for instance, Hawkeye would, and another show we'll talk about. But I just want to just mention that.
Yeah. Tyler, what were you going to say before?
What really brought Hawkeye down for me was, as much as I appreciated it, I'm just gonna say it. They really fucked up with Kingpin.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
their Kingpin portrayal was.
Yeah, I mean, it was
really
great to see, but it wasn't.
I don't think that was the way.
It wasn't the Kingpin.
And they cut a really good scene out as well, which should have been in there. And number 6, finally. Ian, what was your number 6?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, fair. I can think
my number 6 is What If.
Okay, yeah. And mine is Hawkeye. So, and I think it's kind of the similar thing with what you think of Hawkeye. The show just didn't really do anything for me, and my highlight was Kingpin when he showed up, and Kate especially. But yeah, it just I found it boring and
it was. It was a very solid, fun experience for me up until the finale episode, and I had a really good time with the finale episode. But thinking back on it,
which is fair,
I have no desire to ever rewatch that.
Yeah. So before actually, just thinking about it, before we actually give our collective, ranking, I just want to ask everyone, and just going through your lists, the positions that you've done them. Give a brief little a little thing of why you've put the show in that order. Do you know what I mean? And then and then we can move on to our collective thing, because I think that's something we we should at least know from each other, why is one lower than the other, or to give each other perspectives and whatnot. So Tyler, do you want to go first through your list, and then Aiden, and
Sure. So Moon Knight, obviously, just consistently top tier MCU, beautifully written, beautifully shot, all that. We've praised it for 6 episodes now. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is my number 2 because I have a major love for Captain America and what Captain America means, and all of the symbolism and the depth behind that. John Walker was introduced, and he was a newfound love for me, a character that I didn't know I wanted, but he became one of my all-time favorites just because he is a very well written, very tragic character with his downfall and then his working towards redemption by the end. WandaVision, great show, very different, a lot like, not like Moon Knight, but in the sense of just being breaking from the mold. Yeah, it does get, whatever, superhero climaxy. So does Moon Knight, does a little bit too, with the final episode. But Vision coming back and again just exploring the world of the MCU and the ramifications after Endgame is great for me. Yeah, like I said, Vision coming back was the biggest thing that I wanted coming out of that show, and I got it, so I'm very happy with that. Loki is at number 4. I love most of Loki. I just can't stand one specific character. Disagree with me, all you like. It's fine. But the Mobius is high of that show. Every show has kind of had a standout character for me. Mobius would definitely be the one. I'll watch season 2. I'm super disinterested in the romance that feels very forced between Loki and Sylvie. And then Hawkeye, very fun for 5 episodes, and the 6th episode really drops the ball with Kingpin. And then What If it's not particularly well written for the most part. It's not, it's a kid show and it's a cartoon, so I get it. But I like all of it. I just don't. There's nothing in there that I really loved.
All right.
So.
Aiden, what about you?
All right. So I'm going to start with Moon Knight being, of course, my favorite. And I was blown away by this show. They take a character that has never been explored on the screen before and just did a wonderful adaptation that's stayed true to the character and done seamlessly so well, and stuck the landing throughout the whole way through. So I'm immensely impressed with the series. I cannot praise it enough, and I really admire the character of Moon Knight. Character would get this much attention that it has, because I mean, you can, if knowing them about Moon Knight, but they didn't know about Moon Knight like maybe 5-10 years ago. So it's just cool that the character's getting the appreciation and the attention that it deserves. So I'm very, very happy to see that. And then coming over my second, being Loki. This show was just off the wall, crazy and nuts. They actually made a character that I wasn't always fully fond of in the movies, being Loki. I've always liked Loki, but I wasn't I loved Loki like everyone else. So this show kind of really showed the character in a new light, and of course in different forms. And it really just having this crazy time travel multiverse trip it was just a whole lot of fun the whole way. Tyler mentioned about standout characters in some of these shows by Owen Wilson was just a highlight.
Mobius, not Morbius.
I said Morbius. Right? It's Morbius.
It's Mobius.
I'm getting names wrong today because I'm building something right now, so I'm focusing.
It's not your fault. It's very similar. It's one letter different name. So
it's God dang it! Why did they have to name him like that in the comics? All right, but
yeah, right.
Yeah, but standout character. And then what did I say for number 3? WandaVision, of course.
WandaVision
was a perfect way to introduce Marvel to television in the Disney Plus platform, because it just talks about the history of television some way through sitcoms. And it explored much of Wanda's character. I think we've all really wanted to see more and on our standalone project. And play a lot of this really famous Scarlet Witch storylines in the comic books. Outside of Scarlet Witch, we have the Visions, which is a very dark but fascinating comic book. And I thought the show was really enjoyable throughout the whole way through, aside from the ending, which I was let down by a little bit. I won't lie. Like Ralph Boner, come on, guys, really. really.
Yeah, fair. They definitely didn't know what they were doing with that at that time.
Guess not. I will say when they introduced, his. When they introduced him, I thought it was like, oh my god, they wanted to just open the door to the multiverse. No, it was just a guy that lived around town. So it was just names wrong. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed a lot of WandaVision, and it always have a soft. But it's so exciting. First, holy crap! It was like really breaking down some cool stuff. But there's parts of it I don't really look back on. Like, but it still holds up pretty well to me. The number 4 we have What If. I kind of explained about why I like this series already, but I'll just mention one more time that I just like them. I love anthologies overall, and them exploring with the Marvel mythos that they've created through the past like 14 years of Marvel content. I thought that was really enjoyable, but sometimes it didn't really handle stuff well. But when there was good episodes, they were heavy hitters to me. So I hope they learn lessons from season 1 as they go into making season 2. The finale was one of the parts of the show that really, really unfortunately did not blow down well for me. So with like a pre-finale being really great. So I don't know. We shall see how second season will pay it out. But yeah, that's number 4. Number 5 being Hawkeye. I will say, similar to Tyler, I really enjoyed a lot of the series. A lot of fun. I think I'll probably maybe watch it again around Christmas time because that's when it was coming out, and it was really exciting to watch something every week. It's like it was a countdown to Christmas for me. So I got a lot of enjoyment out of that. And building up the Kingpin, which I knew they were, but I still really was happy with the Kingpin show, and then know he's in the Marvel universe with MCU now. But it's like I feel like he should have a more grand production, instead of just like, check out this photo of my phone, dude. It's freaking Kingpin with my mom.
Yeah, he deserved better.
He deserves better, but we'll see more of him. We're gonna for sure, but when, where, probably in the Echo series actually. But yeah, probably. I don't know. Yeah, Hawkeye was kind of like, it was good, but kind of a let down for an ending, similar. But for the last one, it is the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which unfortunately, for me personally, I know Tyler really enjoys the show. It did not age very well. I think the whole purpose of the show is Sam exploring himself to find out like what it means for him to become Captain America was an interesting idea when you think about it, but I don't think it was completely necessary because he was already given the shield at the end of Avengers Endgame, but I don't think entire season show to focus on it. Plus, it had really weak villains, or I don't know what they were trying to do with villains. Baron Zemo was the best part of that whole show. Still.
Yeah, as far as I understand, a lot was. I totally agree. The villains, basically, I don't consider her existence when I think about the show. As far as I understand, they cut a lot out of her storyline or whatever. But I don't think it would have been any better if they hadn't.
Unfortunately not, and it's a shame, but I love Sam's costume, and I like some of the development that him and Bucky have. Like, we get to see more of Sam's family and how Bucky handles a lot of things after, him coming back from Snap, like how he's living his day-to-day life. So, but aside from that, I was really the show, and I don't like John Walker. He's all right. I feel bad for him, but he's kind of a jerk. So, once again, sorry.
Yeah. I'll get into that more. That's completely fair. So, Moon Knight is just brilliantly written. It's just incredibly great, and I definitely think it's like peak Marvel shows at the minute. Hopefully they can top it, but it's so well done. It doesn't try and focus on other things like other parts of the universe or anything. It's just such a self-contained story, which I love. I could
reference.
Listen, we could sit here and praise Moon Knight, but
we have for several hours at this point, like over all the episodes.
Loki, I absolutely loved. I love the time travel stuff, the TVA, all that stuff, and Sylvie I do quite like as a character. The romance stuff didn't really bother me, but I mean, like, especially I don't know, I'm kind of going off, but like Loki and Moon Knight are the only two shows for me that delivered on the finals.
My big complaints with Sylvie is I think the romance feels forced, and then really the finale is what puts the final nail in the coffin for me, because all of her growth is thrown away right at the end.
Yeah.
So that's why.
I get that. But I mean, none of that really bothers me. But like Aidan was saying, like, Loki was never a character that I loved. I liked him. He was a mischievous bastard when he was there. He was very funny, especially in the first Avengers, and like, he was always there. And like, it was sad to see him go in Infinity War. But he's always one of those characters that just does pop up.
He was a scene stealer, but without like the substance.
Yeah. So when they announced that those three shows, like WandaVision, The Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then Loki were coming out with the first three, Loki was the one I was least looking forward to. It turned out to be my favourite out of the three. It was for me. It was such a like brilliant and smart like show, like doing a lot of things, like opening the universe to bigger things like Kang, and showing how minute the Infinity Stones are and stuff to greater powers in the MCU universe, which did piss off some fans, but listen, there's always going to be something bigger out there. So my third favourite is WandaVision. I love the creepy factor to the show, like where you'd think the episodes were glitching, or they just like something had happened and you would be like, alright. Seeing Vision as a corpse just walking around was freaky. Just that dead face and stuff that was very unsettling. And there is a really creepy factor of the show which I do love. And like it's very clever because it took a shit ton of risks, that show, which I massively appreciate it for doing. To change the formula of taking different sitcoms and whatnot throughout the years. But yeah, the final for me was very meh. The Scarlet Witch stuff was great, but the shit with like Ralph Boner, that was fucking terrible. It wasn't even like a funny joke either. It was just like, oh, okay. Like,
it's funny to joke about, but it didn't land in the
it was just
in the show. No.
Ralph Boner. Oh, fucking clappy hands fell like so fucking I mean, like, I didn't really care for the kids. I kind of found them a little bit annoying at times. But I mean, Wanda was great. Like Elizabeth Olsen playing that character in that show was amazing. Just seeing her like go through so much like the emotional stuff and whatnot. But that kind of had like a weak side villain. I can't remember his name.
Tyler Hayward.
Yeah, him. He was like the most on the nose bad guy in the entire like. It wasn't even subtle. It was like, I'm going to be a dick for no reason. Like, all right. Agatha was a really... I quite liked Agatha as an antagonist and whatnot, and all that stuff. But yeah, that side character, that side villain, I should say, wasn't exactly the most interesting or anything. And like I say, the final didn't really deliver for me, but everything else I loved. Then it's The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Carly as a villain is probably one of the MCU's worst. She is pretty terrible, and that's not the actress's fault, it's just the way she's written. And I think it's going to be the writers for the new Captain America movie from this moving forward, so I hope they can write a better villain. But she was She's got substance, but none of it feels like it matters.
Like the
Flag Smashers,
I
didn't really care for them at all. They weren't like, Zemo was great, as Aidan mentioned. We got that very iconic dance that he did in the one episode. Great.
Yep.
John is a very polarising character for me, because at first I hated him because he had the shield, and Captain America is one of my favourite MCU characters, and I love Sam, I love Bucky, So seeing this other person put on that shield when Steve gave it to Sam really pissed me off. I was like, how dare you put that on? It really did annoy me. But by the end, as like him becoming US agent, I was like, yeah, do you know what? I could warm up to him. And I think that's kind of going to be the case moving forward. Him as US agent, I think I would much prefer him rather than this like fake ass like Captain America thing that he, had going on.
Well, it's very much a case of like he was put into the shoes that were not meant for him. And then he had to really come into his own by the end of the show, which I'm glad he did.
I mean, I love the buddy kind of thing that Sam and Bucky have throughout the show. And like a lot of the scenes where you see Bucky go through like that mental sort of like recovery at Wakanda, that was really emotional and like great to see him recover from all that and get the redemption that he needed. But Sam's costume, incredibly gorgeous to look at, and like that, so cool, so comic faithful, which is great. So yeah, next, What If? What If is a very mixed bag. I've got Disney Plus up right now. I'm going to quickly name some of the episodes I actually do like for the show, because there is a few, but there is some pretty naff ones. So Captain Carter I really enjoyed as an opening episode. I thought that was really fun. T'Challa as Star-Lord, I wanted to love because it was Chadwick's last performance as the character. I love Black Panther and I love Chadwick in the role, and when that news unfortunately came out past it, I was devastated. So I really wanted to love this episode, but it wasn't that great. The best part of it was the fact that they put in one of my favourite songs, Space Age Love Song, by A Flock of Seagulls at the end. I love that. I was like, holy shit, like, what the fuck? I was like, what?
I think, unfortunately, I think his best moment is just, he gets a brief line at the end of the zombie episode that is really impactful. I don't remember exactly what the line was, but it's very good.
And then we get two of the best episodes in the season. What If Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands, which was a fantastic episode, by far probably one of the best. And then the zombie episode, which again was great.
Yeah.
But then it's followed by two pretty shit ones for me. The Killmonger rescues Tony Stark episode, which I thought was awful. And Aiden would agree, he does not like that character at all.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I hate that episode. I hate that character.
He talks about Gundam.
What was that?
He talks about building a Gundam. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, he's a weeb. I mean, like, even in Black Panther 1, they said that Michael B. Jordan wanted his armor to look like Vegeta's from Dragon Ball, so yeah.
Oh, God.
He's a weeb.
And then, What If Thor was an only child? I didn't care for this episode. I know it was kind of meant to be like a fun sort of thing, but I just didn't like it.
It probably should have been earlier on, because the episodes before that had a lot of death.
The Ultron episode, the first Ultron episode, I really enjoyed. What If Ultron won? That was a really good episode of him breaking it out of like his universe and stuff. And then the final was very hit and miss. They really didn't need any of the other members. They just needed Superior Strange to do everything. So yeah, bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's like that one meme. It's like that one meme with Doctor Strange, or the whole Guardians of the Multiverse being like a power of 99% with Doctor Strange.
Yep.
And then finally, Hawkeye. I mentioned this briefly, where I found the show quite boring, in all honesty. I don't really care for Clint as a character. The most interesting stuff was seeing like the Ronin suit back, and that character. I really enjoyed that portrayal of him. And I really enjoyed Kate and Yelena coming back. I enjoyed that, but overall I found it very lackluster, in all honesty. And like the Kingpin stuff, like you say, the reveal of him, like, even though it was exciting, it wasn't like the best reveal. It was literally like, oh, here, check my phone. Oh, who's that? Oh, that's Kingpin.
Yeah.
Like, there could have been such a cooler way to do that. Like if Clint got captured and then like they do like a panning shot of him like coming out of the shadow or something, that could have been like so much more better. But here's my phone. Who the fuck's that? Oh, that's Kingpin. There you go. So yeah. That's my reasons why I gave them what they are. But let's do this collab ranking and try and agree on something. So
honestly,
right,
I don't think it's gonna be too hard.
I think
the first three are pretty cut and dry. It seems.
Let's start from the bottom and make our way up.
Okay, start from the bottom.
So from our bottom, we've got three different shows for our bottom. So Hawkeye, What If, and The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now let's really think about this. How are we going to do this?
Well, What If is my fifth.
Right, okay.
And you made it your sixth. So.
Oh no, it's my fifth as well.
Hawkeye's my... Oh no, sorry. What if is my sixth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What if it's your fifth? Sorry, backwards. And then Aiden.
Aiden
had a... Yeah. Where was it for you, Aiden? Was it your
What If was
fifth?
What If was number 4. Number 4 was What If.
Right. So
Hawkeye was your fifth.
Yes.
Right. So I think I'm just going to say this. I think fifth and sixth could be changed either way between What If and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Okay. So...
I think. You ranked Falcon and Winter Soldier 4.
Yeah.
I ranked it 2. Aiden ranked it lower. I think I can settle with a 4 for that.
I think 4 is fair. I think given the reasons we've all talked about, like even for example, you like the stuff you love, like John and whatnot, but the stuff that for example, like the villain.
I have serious bias, but
like the villain, like even you
there
agree
are parts
on that.
that are not. Yeah,
absolutely. So are we all good putting the Falcon and Winter Soldier 4th?
Yeah.
Aiden, do you want to counter that?
Yeah.
Or be my guest if you can. If you want to counter it, you know.
I mean, see, I don't know. Man. Let's just do it 4th.
Are you sure?
I got a little bit more enjoyment out of Hawkeye than I did with Falcon and Soldier looking back on it, but I'll just let this one slide.
Well, let's. What's worse? A new villain that doesn't have any substance, or a perfect villain being muddled in a new appearance?
I think having a brand new character and not working at all, that just breaks it down quite a lot for the whole instead of bringing back a villain we've known to love before and being like, well, that was disappointing, but I didn't hate it 100%. Now with Carly Morgenthau, it's like, what the hell? Who am I supposed to care about this character at all? I don't know.
Yeah, but there's nothing to compare her to. Like, you don't have a standard like you do with Kingpin.
And I mean, I'm sure the good stuff that you do like about the show was good. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't all... I understand where... I understand where you come from, and obviously this is the whole discussion part of it. I understand where you come from, but I kind of feel personally, I would take a new character that isn't written well but dies, rather than a pre-existing character which was written great, then wrote kind of lackluster, and
tarnished.
That's kind of his standard now. Do you know what I mean? That kind of leaves a little mark on his legacy, if that makes sense. Which, I'm not saying Hawkeye is terrible, but I just didn't like the way they handled Kingpin. They took out an entire scene which would have made that version of him a lot better, but they just didn't. He definitely doesn't seem like has like 3 steps ahead of everyone like he was in Daredevil. He kind of seems a bit, you know.
I think, Aiden, you have Hawkeye as your 5th, right?
Yeah.
Hawkeye is my 5th, so I think Hawkeye should sit at the 5th, and then
yeah, I can have 5th.
It's no slight against the show, but What If, I think.
What If? Yeah, I think we all can agree What If has very hit or miss episodes.
Yeah, they're not like in between where you're like, well, that was kind of...
They're very either great or shit.
Yeah,
It's not very subtle at all.
Yeah.
I'll take, What If 6, then Hawkeye, and then I guess The Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Sure.
Number 3.
Number 3, we all agree on.
Which is fair.
WandaVision.
Now, this is where it's going to get, I guess.
Well, everything else is already ranked, so I am totally fine with conceding and giving Loki the 2nd spot, since you guys agree on it.
Alright, fair enough. So, we didn't have that much of a disagreement with things, which, is fair enough.
We'll have a little quarrel, but not like, like Mad Dog,
Yeah.
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 And then, of course, Moon Knight's the number 1.
Yeah. By a mile.
I'll be surprised what's going to ever top Moon Knight from here on out. I'm really... Because I was just telling Thatch this morning, I was like, dude, we're getting Miss Marvel after this. Not like I'm not looking for that show, but it's like, that's a huge...
It's got a lot to live up to.
Hold on. Don't hold it to that standard, guys.
I'm not.
It's a show for, like, teenage girls.
Yeah,
so.
Of course. I'm just
definitely
saying
not our demographic.
We go from... We're going from Moon Knight to Miss Marvel, so...
Yeah, that's...
I'm not trying to I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks decent. I don't even like the character Miss Marvel this much, and I'm looking forward to the show.
I'm curious to know what they're going to do with it, definitely. I don't know. I don't think we're going to get anything as good as Moon Knight until something like, I don't know, like Secret Invasion or like Armor Wars. Who knows? Yeah. We'll have to see, definitely. So that's our ranking: Moon Knight, Loki, WandaVision, The Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, and What If. I'm completely fine with that ranking. I think that's completely fair. Everyone's said their piece. Yeah. We can put the pitchforks down. And whatnot.
I think I had a fun time with every one of the shows. So I don't think any of them is like
terrible yet. We haven't got there yet.
No, I don't think any of them's like bottom tier MCU or anything like that.
Nothing's like Eternals or Hulk 1 or some shit.
or Thor 2, Iron Man
2,
whichever one is like.
So that's our thing. So moving on to our final segment, I guess. Has anyone bought anything? I think a certain someone has bought something today. Do you want to talk about your very special Lego buy?
All right, Tyler, tell us what you got today.
I bought a soda. I haven't bought anything. No, I haven't bought anything today.
What the heck? All right. Well, no, I went. So hi again. No, I went to the Lego store today. I've been there over a month, but something that happened today that I didn't think was going to happen for a while, but it happened. So I went to the Lego store. I was looking to buy the new Lego DeLorean set because I really want that set. It's cool. But there was a set that I've always wanted since last May when it was revealed a lot more. And that is the Lego Marvel Daily Bugle set. It's the ultimate Marvel set in my eyes, and it's something I've been keeping my eyes on for quite a while. And I was waiting for the right time to maybe I should get it then, later. I'll get it this time with so-and-so. But I was able to work something out where I was able to buy it today. And if I told myself like this morning that I was going to go buy this set today, I would probably crap my pants and and not believe it. But here I am building as we've been recording this podcast.
I was going to say it's going to take you a while to build that thing.
Oh, I'm already on the second floor. So
Jesus.
Dang.
I'm having a ball. I'm so thrilled. I can't believe I had this set.
How many floors is it?
It's around 3 or 4, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, and then
So,
slowly
I just finished the foundation, and I thought like I got Barracuda Bay, which is a pirate ship, for a couple years ago, and that's the last big set I got. Now I just like
this is the thing with Aiden. Whenever like we're on calls and stuff, and he buys a big set, he goes, "That is the last big Lego set I'm buying." He always says it without fail.
You're right.
And every so often he just pulls this massive fucking Lego set out of nowhere. And he's like, "Yep, this is the last one." It's like, yeah, of course it is.
It's bad because I just bought a set that was twice as big than the last one I heard.
Mm-hmm.
So if I buy something after this, I'm very concerned.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's going to be a lot of money, and I don't know where I'm going to put it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think you're also forgetting that you have Galactus on the way.
Yeah, you got some very similarly sized and priced coming soon.
Outside of a Lego set, yes, I did order the. I bought the HasLab Galactus, and that is something I cannot believe I'm still getting. I'm so excited for that. And to tell you where I'm going to put that, I actually have a plan. So
in the bed.
Oh.
In the bed. He's going to be everywhere. I'm taking him to work. So yeah. So no. Yeah, I can't believe I'm building this set. It's kind of a dream set to build and to really have. Yeah. Also, like basically every minifigure in this set is someone I don't have, but they finally made a Punisher minifigure, which I've always wanted, and a Daredevil, and just having a bunch of Spider-Man villains. I've had a minifigure for them since I was a little kid, and plus the building. I've always wanted a modular Lego set, and this was something that was like, oh my god, it appeases every part
to get.
Yeah. Yes, it's the building. I also, part of this trip I went out today was just to check out a comic book store. So I got some comic books, and sure enough, there were Spider-Man comic books. I got some ones that personal favorites, like with the Lizard, or I got the first variant cover of Spider-Man 2099 back in the 90s. I got, what else? I got a Daredevil comic. So it was very fitting that I picked up the set today with a lot of these characters in this set.
Sounds like a very fun day.
Yeah, it was. I've been having a blast, and then also I've just been looking for the Muppets minifigure packs. I've been looking for the Kermit, but I found 2 minifigures, Gonzo and Beaker, and I love them. They're great. This might end up being my favorite Lego CMF line, but yeah, it's been a journey today. I must say.
Yeah, it sounds it. So I actually picked up weirdly with just seemingly bought Lego for the last day or so. Now, for anyone who doesn't know me, or like what we typically do on YouTube, it's like typically Lego related videos and like Barnacle and stuff. But I stepped away from the Lego community last year because I was done with the whole thing and it didn't interest me, and I just fell out of love with Lego massively. Anyway, I went to my local Asda, which is the UK equivalent to Walmart. It's the UK off thing of the same company. And they had the Lego Sea Creatures set, where it's like basically you basically build like either a shark or an anglerfish or a squid. So it's a 3-in-1 creator set, which I do love, and I did have this set before, but I took it apart. It's a very good set. But the only reason I bought it was because typically it's priced at like 15, but they were selling it for like $3.25, which is ridiculous. It's stupidly cheap. So I picked it up. I thought, why not? It's the price, or just under the price for a minifigure now, which is mad. So yeah, I had fun yesterday building it and whatnot, and all that stuff, trying out all the 3 different builds. And I took it apart today to create a hammerhead shark. My favourite. It is a fan build sort of thing, but I found a channel where it tries to create so many different models and stuff with just one of the sets, and then you can like look at the instructions online and stuff. The only reason I did this is because the hammerhead shark for me is my. I absolutely love that that shark, and I just think it's such a beautiful sea creature and whatnot. And yeah, I just absolutely. I'm fascinated by sharks. They've always been like such a fascination to me growing up and stuff, and the hammerhead has always been a favourite of mine, so I had to make it. But yeah, I haven't bought anything else. I haven't, I'm still waiting on my replacement Stormtrooper. Hopefully I'm going to get an email from Hasbro tomorrow. But yeah, we'll have to see. So it's been a pretty long episode. It's coming up to like 2 hours long. Yeah, we've had a lot to talk about in this episode. So thank you for making it through. If you have, or if you haven't fell asleep, I would just like to say. I would like to say a few things before we head off. Please do rate and click the bell icon on Spotify. It will massively help us in the long run with the algorithm and whatnot, and get picked up and so on. And please do check out the All Things Geek Instagram page over on Instagram, where you'll get daily updates. Well, not daily, but like updates when we're like recording or whatever, and so on and so forth. And yeah, thank you, I guess, for listening to us talk shit for nearly 2 hours about Star Wars and Marvel and whatnot. But yeah, so do you two want to say anything before we head off? And yeah,
no. Thanks for listening, and have a good one.
Yeah,
try and have a good one.
Don't be a dick and spoil people with spoilers from Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, don't be one of those dickheads.
This universe or any other universe, okay?
Don't be one of those assholes. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.